FORA.tv. The world is thinking.
I want to leave you with a sort of grim suicide note that Juma al-Dosri, who was a detainee for several years at Guantanamo, wrote to his attorney. And he had attempted suicide many times. I think it was about a dozen. And this particular incident, he asked his attorney for a bathroom break, and he handed him a letter. And when his attorney called the guards and told him he wanted to take this bathroom break, the detainee Juma was taking a long time, and so he stuck his head into the cell, and before he could call out his name to see what was taking so long, he saw this huge pool of blood and called out and just yanked the door open and saw his client hang. He had hung himself and slashed his arms, and he raced up to the cage, because they're put in cages when the lawyers leave, for whether it's to go to the bathroom or for lunch. They're put in this 7 by 8 foot cage. And so he was hanging there and he couldn't reach him, and so he started screaming, and the guards came and he was ushered out. And Juma survived that, and he went on to try to commit suicide other times, but this is the letter that the attorney later read. October 2005. And these are the words of Juma al-Dosri. In fact, I don't know how to begin or where to begin. I feel very sorry for forcing you to see a human being who suffered too much, dying before your eyes. There was no alternative to make our voice heard by the world from the depths of the detention centers. I hope you will always remember that you met and sat with a human being called Juma, who suffered too much and was abused in his belief, his self, in his dignity, and also in his humanity. He was imprisoned, tortured, and deprived of his homeland, his family, and his young daughter. Remember that there are hundreds of detainees at Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. They are in the same situation of suffering and misfortune. They were captured, tortured, detained with no offense or reason. Their lives might end like mine. When you remember me in my last gasps of life before dying, while my soul is leaving my body to rise to its creator, remember that the world let us down and let our case down. Remember that our government let us down. Remember the unreasonable delay of the courts in looking into our case to side with the victims of injustice. If there were judges that had been fair, I wouldn't have been wrapped in death shrouds now, and my family, my father, my mother, my brothers, sisters, and my little daughter would not have to lose me. But what else can I do? Take some of my blood, take pieces of my death shrouds, take some of my remains, take pictures of my dead body when I am placed in my grave. Send it to the world, to the judges, the people with live conscience, to the people with principles and values. At this moment, I see death looming in front of me while I write this letter. Death has a bad odor that cannot be smelled except by those who are going through its agony. Farewell. I thank you for everything you have done for me, but I have a final request. Show the world the letters I gave you. Let the world read them. Let the world know the agonies of the detainees in Cuba. Prisoner of deprivation, Juma Abdul Latif al-Dosri.